아이틴 경기장 도시양.
All right, guys, so here we go now. Game number 5 between Alternate Attacks and Team Acer. Alternate Attacks, their representative is our Pink Zerg at the 9 o'clock position. On Terminus, that is Delphi. He has taken 2 games in a row now from his opponents from Team Acer. Their representative over here at the 3 o'clock position is Osho.
Yep.
Okay, so there it is.
Was the switch, yeah.
Okay, I was making sure that I wasn't
Dark Side.
insane.
Well, we did have Dark Hydra just a moment ago. It's true.
All right, so they are going to talk back and forth, but I'm glad that I wasn't entirely insane. The insanity check passed.
That's good.
Okay.
Looks like a pylon on the low ground for Osho, so he's going to try a bit of a Forge expand on this map. We'll have to see if his Protoss skills can match his Zerg skills. The nice thing in playing a mirror matchup or playing a matchup against a race that you used to play is that you have a very good sense of timings and things like that. You see that in players like Moro, you know, who used to play Terran, then he played Zerg, and now he plays TVZ. He knows Zerg inside and out, so he can exploit that when he plays Terran. So we'll have to see if Osho can exploit those timings as a Protoss player against Zerg as well.
And, you know, it's kind of the funny point that I was wondering about there as well. As Osho mentioned that he says that he can go from winning against the best Zerg players in the world in CVC to losing to some random Masters player as well. So that is part of the reason, saying that he was bored with Protoss as well. But nonetheless, here we go, guys. And it looks like we're going to see a Forge Fast expand out of Osho at the front of the natural here. That is totally standard, especially on this version, the newer version of Terminus. You close off this attack path, and you've basically won yourself 3 safe bases.
Yeah, it's a little bit narrower now. The choke point of the natural used to be quite a bit wider, and it was a big challenge for Protoss players to try to do any sort of Forge expand on this map. So
agreed.
They did narrow it when they added the rocks to the 3rd and took away the ramp by the 3rd and just made a wall there as well. And Protoss players have really appreciated that. It's kind of nice.
And there's a Manor Pylon coming down now for Osho as he wants to block that hatch. And again, you're talking about sense of timings. It's not just in the big things in terms of attacks and stuff like that. It's also these small things like this. If he gets a feel coming in here, knowing that his opponent didn't take a super fast expansion. Oh, okay, that's
He's
bold.
really going all out.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's bold. But anyway, you know exactly when to drop down those blocks.
It's a bit expensive to put down that gateway as well. That's going to slow down his Nexus quite a bit here. If you think about it, you look at his minerals. It's only at like 200 right now. If he cancels this gateway, the hatchery and the Nexus are still going to go down at about the same time.
Sure.
So, you know, we'll see. I mean, I'm not a big fan of doing like the Cyber Core or the gateway after the pylon. I think the pylon is fine. Starts his Nexus here, and if you look, the hatchery is going to start not much later than the Nexus, so he really ended up slowing himself down almost to the level that the hatchery came up.
Sure.
So that kind of illustrates the point I'm trying to make, which is I'm not so sure about the Cyber Core gateway after the pylon in that block off. I think the pylon's enough.
It does buy a very safe expansion, though, at the very least. Yes, you do set yourself behind, but you ensure that your photon cannon will be up, although that was kind of a given on this map, especially given how long the walk distance is. But here we are now. That being said, it looks like we're going to have that 100 gas here in just a bit for Delphi, as he will be able to put up his Zergling speed. Second photon cannon being thrown in, and this is a nice, pretty deep wall, as a matter of fact. Just one structure here, and he would have a, buildings 2 deep everywhere.
Well, you can tell that Osho hasn't been playing as much Protoss as, obviously someone who only plays Protoss, like OGSMC or something, for an example. Just because normally a lot of players can get away without having that second cannon early on. In fact, I think that's a bit of an unnecessary cannon there. You can tell he feels a little bit unsure about the matchup already, which is pretty common for anyone who's kind of newly switched over like that.
Sure.
It's okay. I mean, it's not a huge kind of waste of minerals, I guess I'll say. It does keep you safer, but it does, again, slow things down a little bit more.
Right.
So in terms of who's ahead at this point, if Acer.Osho had been able to deny the hatchery for a little bit longer using the probe and a pylon and get his Nexus up earlier, he'd have the advantage. But where everything's been a little bit slower, they're still on about the same footing now, despite the efforts of our Protoss player.
All right, and Delphi accidentally had his drones rally to the hatchery. It appeared there for a little while.
Yeah, that happens.
And someone's running underneath us. just
Nope,
felt
running next to us. It's one of those League of Legends guys.
Oh, those crazy League of Legends guys. I hope you guys, actually, if you're League of Legends fans, we'll give them a quick shout-out as well. We've added a new team to the IPL that actually resides in-house that is doing League of Legends content. So if you enjoy that, then please do make sure you check out all their stuff. You can find more details at IGN.com/IPL.
All right, he really wants to kill that Zealot, I guess.
Yeah, because that Zealot tucked itself into a very, very effective place, and it already has 3 kills. Will it get a 4th? Got pretty close, but no.
Not quite, yep. So Stargate plan the way for Osho. He's going to go ahead and make a Void Ray, try to go after that hatchery here. I've got a feeling Delphi's going to be pretty well prepared for it. In fact, going for a very, very fast lair is our Zerg player. We'll have to see what he decides to use that for. Is he up to 4 gas? He's up to 3 gas right now. Okay. So we'll have to see what he has in mind for that. Starship weapons as well for Osho. Interesting play.
Wow.
Okay. Did he get Warp Gate research? I didn't see.
Let's take a look.
Yeah, he's getting it, but he's not. No,
he hasn't. I was waiting. I was wondering. I was like, I'm waiting for the second Stargate. But no, not just a second Stargate, but a third. At the same time, we're going to have fast Nidus play out of Delphi.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, Delphi going for the Nidus play. I think he's kind of trying to exploit the fact that his opponent is a little bit new to Protoss here. This is kind of one of those skill check plays that you'll see some players do against each other. It's going to be Nidus and Hydralisk. I think that's going to be something that works pretty well against a solid, like, big 3 Stargate airplay that Osho is doing. As long as Delphi doesn't get into a situation where his Hydras are getting picked off like 1 by 1 as they come out of the hatcheries or whatever, I think Osho's in a bit of trouble here, honestly.
The units get picked off 1 by 1. So yeah, triple Stargate. This is actually going to be madness here in a second. We do have an Overseer making its way out. Has a little bit better speed, of course, so we'll be able to drop down that Nidus Worm here in a second. I just heard the first Nidus Worm, and it looks like so did Osho.
Yep, that's right. Spewing out some Zerglings, not even waiting for the Hydralisks, and there's not a lot defending these drones right now. Just a couple cannons and a Void Ray. Void Rays don't kill Zerglings very, very quickly. He's going to lose a good amount of probes here.
Yes, he is. Already 8 workers have gone down.
Oh, that's a lot of Zerglings, man.
Yes, yes, it is, as a matter of fact. And we have 6 Hydras that are going to flood in here in just a bit as well.
You could almost just focus on that Nexus, too, and the probes run away and just do some damage that way. In fact, that's what I think he's going to try to do here. No, just kind of running around randomly. He's going to go after the gas. No, he's going to run around randomly. Just keep running, I guess.
He'll get hold of it. Well, his opponent's, you know, not mining, which is pretty good. And
that's not bad,
he's continuing to flood in a few units as well.
Making
hopefully,
more Hydras.
Let's see, where are those Hydras at? They're going to pop out in a second along with the Queen.
And those Hydralisks are going to just tear through the Void Rays. Oh, no, they're going to run right into it. He's got a Queen there as well. He's going to start putting down creep tumors. And, yeah, our Protoss player in a bit of trouble here.
Definitely.
2 more Void Rays on the way. Those are, again, going to dive very quickly into the Hydralisks.
And we'll see how many Phoenixes can come out, because if he's able to lift off a couple of units, maybe... Well, no, I don't know. That's a lot of Hydras, actually. This is just going to be really tough for Osho, especially because he is now supply blocked.
Pretty badly supply blocked, yeah. Here come the Hydras. A lot of Hydras. Some being lifted up here. Probes coming into the fight here. He's going to need to fight with all these guys, but, you know, no mining going on. And I think that's just too much Hydras. I think this is going to be the end of the game right here, guys.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. Last couple of air units in the skies. 47 workers have been killed. Good God.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. More Hydras coming out right now. Just one. Just being like, hey, guys, I finally made it.
Hey, what's going on?
Bye-bye. Void Ray. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Void Ray
like,
went
hey,
down.
did you see a Hydralisk come through here recently?
One Void Ray left now, running back to the double cannons, but that's just going to buy Delphi the time that he needs to be able to jump out. And it looks like, yeah, he's going to put ATN up 4-1.
All the Queens.
Yeah.
All right.
All of the Queens.
Yeah, what's the worker count right now for a Protoss player? GG, never mind.
20
Doesn't
42
matter. The game is over.